This has got to be one of the coolest Hot Toys clone troopers I have ever gotten in hand. So, how about we talk about it? Welcome to Nick's Toy Box, your place for everything Hot Toys, Marvel Legends, and other collectibles. Today, we are taking a look at the Clone Commando Boss from Hot Toys. Now, this and the other Clone Commandos have been very limited runs, which we will kind of talk about a bit. So with that, so excited to have this dude in hand and be able to review him. If you're unfamiliar with how these limited runs go, for example, Sideshow here I think got 3,000 allocated to them. I was fortunate enough to get one in the drop. And then some other vendors also get about that same amount of number, and that's it. It's not really a bigger number like we would see from normal Hot Toys releases. That's kind of a bad thing for huge fan favorites like this. It's done intentionally to push sales, which really sucks in this hobby. Putting a pin in that for now, take a look at the box. This is a pretty standard box from what we should expect nowadays from Hot Toys and Star Wars, including anything with batteries has to have that ugly sticker slapped in a very obvious place. Would I love it in the back? It is what it is. I love these colors, that accent boss behind him, because it matches his scheme very well. I love that we get nothing but toy photography for the box and the promotional art, as it keeps it accurate to what we are receiving in the box. Otherwise, very standard normal release box. Once we peel this off, we get our nice little art insert here showing him and the other Clone Commandos off. I am actively trying to get my hands on more of them because I need the whole set. But once you peel this gorgeous little slip off, we are introduced to the figure itself and all of his accessories. I gotta say, off the bat, Clone Troopers are kind of hit and miss for me. I feel like, granted they can't come with a bunch of accessories, but at the same time I feel like we should be getting more for these figures because they can tend to be lackluster. With that, I think Boss is saved a bit because of the amount of weapons he gets. This very awesome backpack with a cool magnetic feature that we will show off. And otherwise he gets like a cool little radar scanner and his good array of hands. Obviously we don't have any alternative head sculpts for this guy. So with that, I'm glad that we at least get this backpack with the magnetic latch to open and close. Sorry, that one is a plastic, the magnet's on the back. But you can actually store stuff in there, which levels up the play features, which makes this thing even more cool to me. His main blaster is sculpted and painted beautifully. I love those gunmetal silvers and everything that are throughout it, and it's not just a plain black, because that's really dull. So I love this. I would have liked to see some more weathering on the black and not just on the silver, but overall it's a pretty good accessory. I can't be that mad about it. I would have liked to see more detailing on his little pistols, but then again, they're real small, so I guess that's kind of a nitpicking thing. They are done beautifully though, and I do really enjoy them. I think they're an awesome inclusion. His radar scanner is also really, really cool and very detailed, and it's good to get extra stuff. Once again, I think weathering would have been cool for it, but not necessarily a deal breaker here. The hands are all beautifully crafted and sculpted with that real kind of like leathery glove textures looking on his hands, and the metal parts outside, which is plastic but is supposed to be like armor, is weathered and textured wonderfully. All in all, we get like 3 different sets of hands that you can use. So 6 hands in total, which is awesome. I'm very happy about that. We get a real standard Star Wars base here with the crotch holder, which is real standard for this. These guys don't really need waist grabbers as they're not like out there doing crazy action poses like a Spider-Man. So this is all real standard. For a limited release figure, would have loved to see something more deluxe for a base. Like something that connects with the other troopers or something like that. But like I said, that's all rather nitpicking. Moving on here, we'll start unwrapping him and getting him opened up for a good look. Sorry about my audio on the previous stuff. My microphone wigged out and I didn't realize it. So going forward, I think my audio should sound a lot better. I don't know what happened. Technology. So now that we have him unwrapped and ready to go, I think it's only fair we throw him on the turntable. Putting the pin again here, like I was saying, I think doing limited runs for certain stuff makes a lot of sense. So what I mean by that would be like a gold Iron Man or like the gold Commander Cody or like those kind of variants. I think limited runs are fair and makes lots of sense. But I think when we get a figure like this, a fan favorite, and that's going to be part of a squadron, and you do limited runs on it, I think it sucks. I think it's a bad practice and poor taste from Hot Toys. It's one of those things though where unfortunately I don't want to miss out on them. And so I end up buying them, and which is only going to tell them that the system works. I think the only way that we could fix it is if we all just didn't buy. But I know in this kind of world, it's just not realistic. It really is unfortunate that that's where we are nowadays, where it's about like shop drops and things in that nature. But anyways, you let me know in the comments below how you feel about all of that. Getting back to the figure at hand here, he looks really, really good. I'm impressed with his coloring, his weathering, the light feature in his head, everything. I think something that really blew me away, which I was a little hesitant about, is the backpack. Because like we said, the backpack is magnetic, but it's actually really sturdy. It's very easy to take off, and I like how they have a space for that right there so it doesn't get all messed up. But it's actually on there really well. Like, I was actually shaking this dude around and actually putting some effort in, and it budged not a once. But I'm not struggling to pull it off with my hands. This thing is awesome. Keeping it going, like I was saying, this light up feature in the head is dope. It's not super bright, but I think that's intentional, and it actually looks really, really good. If you have display lights and stuff like that on a shelf, it's going to be rather dull. But if you take them out and you get up close, maybe for some toy photography or otherwise, it looks really, really good. The weathering and the detailing and the sculpting and everything on this dude is absolutely pinnacle. I really, really was impressed with Captain Rex. But I think this one blows it out of the water for me. Everything about him is just awesome. And I will say in some of the promotional photos, he kind of had like a shimmery look to him, like glossy. But I'm glad that in person, it's more matte and more weathered, and he doesn't have that new polished look. He looks like a clone who's seen some battle. And so I think that is awesome. All in all, this dude is meeting all my expectations as far as looks go. So the next thing is going to be, what about articulation? He's going to be a little limited in some areas because of the clone armor, but we still get really good head movement. And with all of the armor being able to slide and move around thanks to these bands, and they're not all actually being connected, you get really good articulation in the terms of comparatively how it probably would be if it was all like one pieces. But the fact that it can slide all over, hit that like mesh material underneath, gives us a better range. His torso area, where that crunch would be, is pretty non-existent, but otherwise we get some really good movement that I would want to see when posing a clone. So he checks all those boxes for me. It's pretty standard what we see from Hot Toys Clone Trooper world, which is really good. It's not a bad thing. It could be improved on, but I'm not mad about it. And so with that, posing him is loads of fun and super easy. And I don't know how to say it in a way of like, it just looks good. And like I said, you can use his backpack legitly, which really just levels up what you can do with him, which is loads of fun. And with that wraps it up for Clone Commando Boss. You let me know what you think about him and how you feel about this figure. For me, overall, he's a pretty stellar figure, and I don't really have a lot of complaints about him. But I'm interested to know what you think. Just so we know, the biggest thing that I will say is, hate limited drops. If they're already ready, available, and that's why they're doing these limited drops, why not just do more mass production and then release them? But anyways, enough of that. And as always, if you could subscribe, notification bell, like and share, and leave a comment, all that stuff helps me and the channel grow. And if you want to help me continue grow, you can always leave a comment and tell me somebody you're interested in seeing as a review, and I can try to do it. If you want to see more of me, more of my videos, more of my collection, click any of these videos here, or subscribe and turn on that notification bell. As always, this is Nick's Toy Box. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.